welcome to another edition of Short Shift, presented by V8s Online and proudly brought to you by Direct Clark Services and, of course, TrakRacer. Stephen Sandman Clark, Jay Kennedy. How you going, mate?
Very good, and it's awesome to be here at Wynnum Motor Raceway with the Eggleston Motorsport team behind us. Fantastic, loving being here. Yeah,
we've had a good opportunity today to catch up with Justin Rougier and see how he's going. Absolutely unbelievable how he's going in the Kumo series, considering that he's never driven these things before and his worst results are second place.
Yeah, he's doing fantastic. He's not happy with his second places in every race, but as we always saw when he's racing in the iRacing V8 Supercar series, he wants to win. Winning is everything. So, so he's going to do very well out of this. I think he's doing very well. Yeah, a lot of support from the iRacing community. I know every time we seem to jump online, you get a little bit of feedback from the guys, and I know the racer in him wants to win every outing, but when you think about how many laps he's actually done in these things, to walk away with a second place as his worst result, it's not a bad effort. Especially when you compare it to the guys that he's racing against and racing with in this series. He's doing fantastic, so
we'll chat to him a little bit later, but before we do that, we'll talk about some news, and a lot's been happening since our last program. There was a fair bit of content released in the latest build.
Yeah, a whole heap of content. Circuit of the Americas, number one thing. Fantastic track, we love it. And the BMW GT3 car, what a fantastic car that is.
Yeah, sensational. And of course, you and someone got creative putting a short shift paint scheme on the BMW.
Was it Matthew Barron who put that together and sent it to me? So the short shift livery available for everyone to have a jump on their car. So support us. If you haven't got a livery, you can chuck that on.
And while we talk about that too, Mike Orloff was nice enough to paint up a V8 supercar, and of course that's on the Facebook page for you as a free download. So, we had the BMW, we had Circuit of Americas, and one thing that I didn't see coming, but we touched on a little bit in our last show, was the Gen 6 Toyota Camry.
Yeah, fantastic car. Obviously it's the same physics as the other cars, the Ford Fusion and the Chevy SS, but if you actually run three screens, it's a little bit easier to drive because you can actually see your gauge is a bit easier. So
there you go.
If you do run three screens and have a bit of trouble with the interior on the Gen 6 cars, run the Camry. You might find it a little bit easier.
Oh, there you go. And of course, probably one of the biggest things was the lead up to the Indy 500, and the nice release of the latest was a DW12 Dallara IndyCar.
Yeah, fantastic car. Unfortunately, the Indy 500 didn't quite go the way that iRacing were hoping, but they will rerun that again soon. Internet service didn't quite go as well as they'd hoped, so unfortunate, but we'll have that running again very soon.
I think that was just due to the popularity. I mean, everyone was so excited, the new release of the car, and such a great race, the Indy 500. There was a lot of criticism in regards to what happened, but I guess that's totally out of iRacing's hands, unfortunately. But they were nice enough to sort of pay us back a little bit in a way.
Yeah, so anyone that had brought the car got a $6 credit back, so to use on other content. So for a lot of people, including myself, it didn't cost much for that car at all.
That's right. Well, also, since our last show, we've had confirmation that the VF Commodore is all ready to go. They've got the CAD drawings in-house, and I'm saying it's Season 4, possibly.
Yeah, they may possibly do a release mid-season, Season 3, Season 4, when it's available. And they also are revamping the current Falcon, so we will have a new Falcon, and we'll actually have a Ford versus Holden battle.
Fantastic.
Finally, after all these years.
And all that will be on the newest Tyre Model 2 version 5, so that's exciting stuff. And mate, I'll tell you what, that's going to put a bit of pep in everyone's step for the V8 series when you've got Holden versus Ford.
It'll be fantastic with what's happening in the future in the V8 Supercar series. Expect some big things to happen in the next few months.
And some other exciting news, our next track to be released, that's in full works now.
Yeah, full production for Donington. The Donington track, which is a fantastic track. I remember racing countless laps on it on every Toka touring car game.
I was going to say Toka 2, that was my thing.
Played it non-stop, so fantastic track. Love that track. Can't wait to race in the V8 Supercar. It will be very, very fun. GTS3 series will be great there too.
Excellent. I don't know if there's any more news. I think that's about it for the moment, is it?
I think that's basically all the news. Just in regards to our broadcast, obviously we're not broadcasting the iRacing V8 Supercar series at the moment, but we will be back very soon. We are looking at a few different avenues, so stay tuned, keep your eye out. There are some big things happening within us at V8s Online. We are working to get our weekly broadcast back up and running. Obviously our Americas team doing a fantastic job with the Wednesday night NASCAR, Friday night V8 Supercars, and obviously Thursday and Saturday in Australia, but expect some news very, very soon.
And it was nice. I know it was a couple of weeks ago now, but it was nice the V8s Online got behind and did the broadcast of the Bathurst race. So you jumped back in the commentary box,
Yeah,
mate.
I did. That was terrible that I jumped back in. But
no, terrible was my driving.
That was what I was about
not
to
going
say.
to talk about that.
Luckily, we didn't get your crashes on camera. But we might have to find them for.
No, that's all right. We don't need to say that.
But no, it was great, and a big thanks to Kane Kraft, obviously directing the V8 America series, who got up at 4:30, something ridiculous, to broadcast before going to work on Monday morning. So that was great. So big thanks to Kane and the Americas boys for a great job.
Fantastic. I've seen some of the things that that are on the table for the V8 Online broadcast, and it looks like exciting stuff. I think when everyone sees it, and hopefully it all comes to fruition, I reckon it'll be good stuff.
And we've got all the right people supporting everything that we're looking at doing, so that's obviously going to make it even better.
All right, well, we'll get on with the show, and while we're here, we've had a good look around Justin Rogers' place, and I'll tell you what, I see this car behind me, and it just makes me want to jump in and have a go myself.
Oh, I'm keen to. I might push him out, and I don't think I'll fit in his race suit, though. He's a little bit too small for me. So.
He's been great. We've got a little bit of a tour through the truck and back behind us in the garage, and the car, Rick Kelly race car from 2006 Championship win.
Yep, Championship winning car, and he's actually going into battle against the car that Rick Kelly defeated,
that's
I'm
right.
fairly sure, which is the Craig Lowndes 2006 car. It's now painted up in a Vodafone livery, but yes, it's very, very key cars in the history of the Australian V8 Supercar Series.
All right, we'll get on with it. We'll show you a little bit of what's going on around here, and we'll catch up with Justin Rozier here at Winton Motor Raceway. Welcome back to Short Shift. Joining us now for probably a regular on our iRacing V8 Supercar Series, one guy you will know and very familiar to us all, Justin Rozier. How you going, mate?
Yeah, going really well. It's great to see you guys out here at the track.
It's good to catch up.
Yeah, good to finally catch up. Been a few years since I've caught up with you. It's obviously come about starting in the iRacing series with us broadcasting. Tell us about how you got started in that.
Yeah, it's funny. I've done a real race back in Homebush in 2011, and one of my main sponsors, Stowe Australia, was on the car, and a couple of the boys come through, and Paul Gallen's a regular on the iRacing, and hit me up and said, "Oh, listen, mate, we're on iRacing. Why don't you come and join us?" So I was right into me sim racing back then, and on R Factor, but not iRacing, and yeah, it was really cool to get on with the boys and that, and then it just obviously progressed from there.
Now, sim racing's led you into some pretty good opportunities. A notable thing with the Formula One drive you got overseas.
Yeah, we fortunate enough we won a Formula One simulator race in Sydney with the Williams F1 team, and then that in turn sent me over to Spain to race in a real car in an open wheeler against the world, and obviously come first, and yeah, pretty stoked with that. And then yeah, we ended up scoring another simulator competition. We won that with McLaren, the F1 team as well. So went to England, went to the factory, seen the Silverstone Grand Prix, everything like that. So it's really cool.
Amazing.
It's a heck of a stepping stone, isn't it? When you think about where we just simulator racing, everyone at home enjoys their simulator racing, and next thing you know it, here messing with the big boys in Formula 1. That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's funny you say that too, because I struggled a lot progressing from karts into real cars, basically for funding. So what I would do then is just look in papers, look up competitions, type them in Google, any competitions going around, and that then in turn stepped up another notch and gave me a lot of exposure that I would never have got if I never looked. So, you know, to everyone that obviously does a lot of simulator stuff, and with a GT Academy that's out there that gives people opportunities. Unfortunately, I couldn't do that because I got third in Australia and I got cancelled because of my CAMS licence. Oh. But it gives people opportunity. So.
Yeah, obviously you have a pretty decent setup at home. We've seen a few videos before, but tell us what you've actually got.
I've got the BMW wheel now. I've got a Vision Racer simulator rig, and I've got the CST pedals from Wollongong there. Look, it's a pretty neat setup. I do need a V8 shifter and stuff like that, and the button boxes, and I've had a look around on the internet. Some things are pricey, some feedback that you get isn't the best. So to go and pour a lot of money into it without the best feedback is sort of, I've been reluctant. But yeah, I do want to step up the sim racing with all the gear and replicate what I'm actually driving, if that's possible.
Yeah. Now, good thing to actually talk about, since we're here at Winton. We've caught up with you. You're round 2 of the Kumo V8 Touring Car Series. How's it going so far?
Yeah, we were very fast on Friday. It was pouring down rain. The car was an absolute rocket, and it's a level playing field for everyone. Obviously, Ryan Simpson's the benchmark with a lot of other guys that are here as well. In the dry, they've had a lot of data. With me, I've done no dry running here. So in the wet, we're sometimes 1.3 quicker than the rest of the field. And then when it's come dry, it's a game changer for us. So yeah, we were struggling a little bit. The last race then, the second race of the weekend, we were pretty close, made a few errors, unfortunately. And that's, again, it's all part of learning, pushing too hard. Just got to step back a gear and get on it for the next one.
It's not a bad debut, though, is it? I think your worst result, second.
Yeah, it is so far. And look, and credit to the team. I mean, the team have thrown every single resource at me. And again, you know, I am inexperienced from this car side of things, but from another motorsport things, I've done a lot of laps at a lot of places around Australia in different categories. But yeah, it's a shame because I want to deliver, you know, and trying to deliver against the best guy in the series, and the Kumo series is hard as well, and trying to benchmark him and brake where he brakes and brake later than him is not necessarily the right thing to do, because he's right at the limit, and if you try and exceed that, then you just lose more ground again. So it's about pegging my mind back and just doing the right thing in the car and just make sure that we get the best result that's possible. At the moment, second is the best place I can finish, but it's not ideal for me because I want to win.
Well, we've seen you always want to win. Same in the iRacing series, second wasn't quite good enough for you.
Yeah, with the iRacing stuff.
To haunt you as well.
Yeah, with the iRacing stuff, yeah, you know, a lot of people throw a lot of hours at it. The hours I don't really have anymore, and the car doesn't really react the way I like it. And the real stuff with the V8 has sort of fallen off a little bit, but hopefully with the new VF model, the tyre model, they'll address that and get that happening, and I'll be back into it straight away, no doubt.
And one thing we're all interested in, I know us sim racers, you're fortunate enough to step into these bad boys, so you can sort of get a feel for how realistic our game is compared to these things. I know there is some sort of difference, but how noticeable is it?
Yeah, it's definitely noticeable. The car on the iRacing, yeah, it's in my belief, it's a long way off.
Yeah.
But I'm sure, you know, a few years back when Shane and Scott were right into it, the car was, I haven't driven a V8 supercar back then, but the car was really good to drive. Sort of when they've stepped back a bit, it's sort of fallen off a little bit, and hopefully iRacing can address that. But yeah, it's definitely noticeable with the braking applications, the turn-in and the exit. The car seems to be, in real life, more planted. With iRacing, it's sort of more floaty.
Yep.
And yeah, that's not really... It doesn't really suit me at all, because I like to drive off the front tyre, let the car roll more, and don't turn the car with the throttle.
Yep.
And that's a noticeable difference for me.
Yeah, you were talking before about obviously driving Aussie racing cars back in 2011 at Homebush, but you have done a fair bit of real-life driving, especially in Aussie racing cars.
Yeah, like I'm still doing production cars. We're winning the Australian Championship at the moment. We're level first. Racing karts. I race karts again all over Australia. We're coming first in that endurance championship, and currently I'm second in the Kimo V8 touring car championship. So yeah, we're doing some miles. I've had 7 races. Well, this is my 8th race this year, and we've had 4 wins and 4 seconds. After today, we'll find out.
Now, for people who don't know, this car's got a fair bit of history behind it too.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. When I raced at Malala for the first time and been in the car for the first time, I never sat in the car. Even when I'd done the deal, I never sat in it.
Oh, there you go.
And it was still in livery with Rick Kelly's Toll HSV and Hertz and Oryx and all that stuff on it. It's pretty emotional, I'll be honest, because as a young kid, that's what you want to do and what you watch and what you live for, mate, when you're a motor racing fan, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
So
that's right.
To see a lot of stuff that Rick Kelly's still got in the car, you know, the name that he called it, you know, Crystal, he's right in the jet planes, I believe, and it's still got the stickers all on the visor strip that the team have left it that way.
Yep.
A lot of people were gutted, you know, we changed the livery, but hey, you know, I've got brilliant sponsors on board, and they need to be known, and they need to be known they're helping me,
yep.
and the team in that fact. So hopefully we can just keep going. But yeah, you're right, mate. It's got a lot of history, and it's just amazing car to drive. Amazing.
And that livery you have got, that is pretty cool, especially the whole team always running the same livery. It's a nice livery.
In saying that, you know, Eggleston Motorsport, and that's why we joined them. They're very professional. You can see the inside the pit garage, you know, how much effort they go through with the signage, with the branding, with the catering, with looking after my sponsors, with the feedback they give my sponsors with race results. It's important. And we put people in for ride days and all that kind of stuff. So it's, look, at the end of the day, it gives everyone a real life experience of what it's like. And when we're on track, photography, TV, mate, it's awesome.
Yeah. And that continues into the Fujitsu series too, because that professionalism that you see here, regardless of whether it's just a Kumo series or what it is, you see that in the Fujitsu series too, and that's a real credit to Eggleston Motorsport too.
Yeah, look, they've done an unbelievable job, and they've got 3 very competitive cars in the Dunlop series. Look, hopefully maybe next year we can. I mean, it's very early days yet, but hopefully that's what we're working towards. We want to be on that grid and give it a real crack and see where it ends up. But look, I'm at this stage of my life and my career, I'm really happy with the opportunities I've been given. And again, to be with such a great team, so relaxed environment, but you know, talented people that want to win, and that's why we're here with this team.
Yeah, one person I want to talk to you about. It's a person here that's very, very special to you. Your old man,
yeah.
Joe, he's here.
Yeah.
Tell us what he means to you.
Look, my family is a big thing to me. It's unfortunate my brothers and my mum and all that can't be here, but my dad, he's my number one fan, and I'm grateful as well that I've got a lot of support from iRacing, a lot of support from my friends, my relatives and all that stuff, and it's real humbling, you know what I mean, to know you've got so many people that are backing you, helping you. And again, look, I learn, you know, every time I get in the car, some people, friends, oh mate, why are you doing this and why are you doing that? And then it's like, okay, yeah, sweet, that's actually a good point. So with me dad, mate, he's everywhere, and my mum and dad, and that's why I'm here. They're actually helping me out. They've actually sponsored me a bit to help me to keep going. And look, hopefully, you know, I can deliver for them as well.
Glad you brought that up. He's such a nice guy. We had a chat with him before, and real credit to great family figure. And no doubt you're very proud. And mate, we've still got another race to go, because this is, as we're filming this, you've just finished race 2. Still got race 3 to go a little bit later on. How are you going to go, buddy?
Yeah, well, going back one further with my dad, just quickly, with iRacing, he watches every single race, every broadcast you guys do. He's got his own headset. He listens into our chat, right? So, but he's not allowed to talk to me, and if he does, I'm on mute, right? So, and sometimes during the race, he sends me a message, stop hitting the curbs and stuff like that. So,
your own team manager, mate.
You can understand how passionate he is about it. And look, I love my family dearly, mate, and I'll do anything for them, and they know that. I spent 2 months in India last year with my middle brother, trying to get his eyesight back. But yeah, for race 3, look, it's about getting a good start. We really need to rattle Simpson. It's very hard, extremely hard. He's in a very competitive car, and he's a very competitive driver. So, look, if we can get a really good start and keep him off the start, I think that will be the game changer. Then it'll be all on, you know, eyes forward, and just don't worry, down and look in the mirror. Just block. No. Look, I just want a good result. I want to try, even if he's in front, try and minimise the gap. and try and peg that back a bit, go away with the data, review everything. Again, there's a few things the team told me first thing this morning, hey mate, yeah, we've looked at this and we found this and you need to do this. And then they get on the radio while I'm on the track and say, hey, break a bit later, do this, do that. So again, it's a learning curve. We don't get a lot of laps, mate. It's 9 lap races. So to learn a lot in that time is very, very hard. Yeah. Okay, but in the wet, different story. You know, the car, me, felt comfortable, a lot of grip, settings are right.
Impressive numbers too, 1.6 seconds quicker than the rest of the field. So yeah, that's pretty good.
1.3, seconds quicker. Yeah, in the wet, and the team were stoked. And again, look, I had more in it, but you don't want to be on edge where you throw the car off the track. When you hit the grass, you can hit a tyre barrier and create work for the team, which you don't want to be doing, especially when you don't have much time to turn around the car and big money to fix.
And for people who don't know, aren't familiar with the Kumo series, Simpsons is a benchmark in this championship, so don't be too hard on yourself, Tiger. A pretty impressive debut considering you've been fastest in practice, both at Malala and here. You've qualified second, you've had second results in the races. It's pretty good stuff.
Cheers. Look, when you look at it, he's beaten a lot of competitive drivers that have moved on to Dunlop Series and the Carrera Cup. Yeah, I am hard on myself because I used to race him on iRacing actually, and probably one of my best wins was beating him on the last lap at Laguna Seca. He's blocking me in the MX-5 and he braked a bit too early, went around the outside and pipped him over the line. That was stoked, yeah. So we've got a bit of history on the iRacing side of things, but at the end of the day, man, everyone's human, everyone's beatable. He's beatable. I've got to lift up my game, be smart, tune the car right, and get on with it. So. We'll press on, but like I said, I'm so grateful that Rachel and Ben from Eggleston Motorsport gave me an opportunity. I just want to deliver for them and do the right thing for them and give them the result they deserve.
Yeah. Now, one thing we normally ask people that we interview on our show,
important question,
is Holden or Ford man, but I think he's probably going to say the General. What are you going to say? You might have to.
I'm not too fussed. I'm not too
race
fast.
Car's a race car.
Yeah, I'm not too fast. I mean, whatever's faster, really. We can badge it later. We can put whatever badge you like on there if you want. But no, look, to be in the Holden, again, it's got a lot of history. It's got a lot of performance. Though Simpson's car's got a lot of history too. Craig Lowndes.
Triple Eight car. Yeah.
Excuse me. So yeah, we're at the best of them. But yeah, I honestly love this car. This car's just awesome. The sound, the note, I can't explain it. It's just when you get in it, I just want to drive it home to Sydney, but I don't let me. We'll see how we go. I might be able to convince him.
Fingers crossed, mate.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. Well, we appreciate you've taken out a lot of time for us to hang around and annoy you and have a chat with you. I appreciate it. I know everyone at home appreciates too, because there's been a fair bit of interest, especially in the iRacing community. Every time we talk to people online, they're all chuffed about how well you're doing, mate. And we just can't thank you enough for spending some time with us, mate.
Look, anyone's more than welcome. Now, the iRacing community, if you're ever around in the area, please drop by. Just send me a message on Facebook. That's where you'll probably find me. And more than welcome. I'll take you through the pits and show you what it's all about. It's good giving people at home that they're on the simulator a real life look at it. And when you pop your head underneath one of these things, you get to see the amount of work that's in it. It's unbelievable, mate. And that's why it's so expensive. So, look, I'm very humbled by the iRacing community. I got a lot of messages when we made the announcement, and a personal thank you to each and every one of you. And hopefully one day, we can deliver and put this thing up the top of the podium.
Fingers crossed. That's the next one.
Luck,
yeah. All right. Appreciate it.
Thanks,
mate.
Guys.
Cheers. Take it easy.
It's a pleasure, mate.
See you, mate.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, buddy.
Well, that just about wraps it up for another episode of V8's Online Short Shift. It's been fantastic to be here at Winton Motor Raceway for this episode. I know you've loved it too, Sam.
Mate, I haven't been able to get out of this garage behind me. It's been so much fun. Big thanks to Eggleston Motorsport for letting us hang out, and of course Justin Rozier for showing us around. He's been quite generous with his time today, and I know everyone at home appreciates it just as much as we do. Yeah,
it's been fantastic to have a good look around, and good to catch up with a few other people who don't want to be on camera. But we won't talk about that, Brad Ryan.
Yeah, Brad Ryan.
But obviously we'll be back for another episode very, very soon, so make sure you stay tuned. We'll also have some more announcements. Make sure you check out the V8's Online Facebook page for all the announcements in regards to the future of V8's Online in our broadcast. We'll be very, very exciting news coming very soon.
Fantastic. And of course, don't forget big thanks to our good friends at Direct Clutch Services and TrakRacer. You've been watching Short Shift. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.